Hey everybody, Rob here. Want to try something. Getting ready to take a trip. Gonna stage the vehicles later tonight. Gonna hike for 3 days here on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm looking forward to it. While I had all my stuff out and I was getting ready to pack my bag and get everything all set to go, I thought I'd just shoot a quick video and show how I go about preparing to make sure I don't forget anything and how I set my bag up and how I pack my bag. So I'll bring it a little bit closer and we'll take a look. Okay, here's everything laid out that will go in my bag, laid out on the dining room table, as well as what I like to do is I actually print out a list of everything I'm going to bring, and I do a few different markings. I do one marking once I get it on the table, then I do another marking once I actually pack it in my bag. So we're going to go about getting all that stuff into that bag right there. Okay, so on this trip I'll be bringing my ULAO backpack. This trip is about 33 miles or so. I start out with my trash compactor bag and shove that down into my own as a pack liner. And how I've been doing things lately is first we'll go in all of my extra clothes. So a long sleeve t-shirt, a pair of socks to sleep in, and a pair of shorts to sleep in. And once I put that in the bag, I cross that stuff out, as well as the down sleeves that I'll use for a pillow. And that just lets me know that all of my extra clothes are in there. Don't use a stuff sack for that anymore. Up next are going to be my quilts. My quilts are in a larger stuff sack that I have, and I just push those down in and let them take up all the space and all the voids down into the pack themselves. So essentially, you can see my pack starting to fill out and good. So first my extra clothes, then the quilts. And give those a quick check off inside. Next up, what I like to do is I take my cook kit. So in here is my IMUSA cup with my Foster DIY pot for my coffee, as well as the fuel I'm going to need for that trip. My fire starters are in there, all of that stuff. And I put that down in on this side of my outside pocket and push that down in, and then just stick my spoon in. And then up next on the other side is my Tadpole tarp that I'm bringing. I'm not going to do the pole mod or the door kit for this trip. There's a 0% chance of rain. So just 4 stakes in my Tadpole tarp. That goes down in here on the other side. And essentially that part is all packed up now. So I'll move over. I'll just cross that off real quick. Tadpole, stakes, done. Food kit, done. Okay. Up next is my Netty hammock. I'm going to bring that with the integrated bug net. That goes inside of my trash compactor bag. And that's actually the last item that goes in the trash compactor bag. So I just shove that down in the back. And that's initially kind of the base for what I'm going to be bringing and how I'll start out packing. So you've seen the video on what I like to bring and how I pack my food. So here's 2.5 days worth of food all laid out. So I'll go ahead, and I recently picked up an Ursac. I bought another rodent-proof bag, and as it figures, I kept waiting for an Ursac, and then the gentleman on the forum, on Hammock forum, put the Ursac for sale. So I ended up picking one of those up. So this will be the first trip with the bear-proof bag, the Ursac. So I'm going to go ahead, load that up with my food. The Ursac weighs in at 7.2 ounces, I believe. So it's not too bad. They say to do a double overhand knot with the Ursac. Cinch it off, bring it in. So that's essentially, there's my food all set and done. Up next on my own, there's a little pocket that hangs on the back. And that is where I put my cigars that I'm going to be bringing on this trip for each night, one for each night. I also will put my phone and my keys in there when I'm done. And then that just hangs right there just inside. Just in the top of my pack I have an extra set of AAA batteries that I bring along for my headlamp or my Spot Gen 3. And then resting it on top is my first aid kit, my hygiene kit. I then take my Packa, place that down along the top. What's nice with doing the quilts and the extra clothes that way, I can now start to compress a little bit. So I've got a nice flat surface. Ultimately, this is where my Ursac is going to go. That will continue to compress down as the trip goes. It's all underneath the stay, and that's it. That is everything that's going to go on the inside of my pack. Okay guys, let's round out the last little bit here. So I've got my water filtration kit and my map. I'm going to push my map down in here. Put my hydration kit. And then take my Spot Gen 3. I like to clip it on and then also put it through this little bit of Velcro, just as an added sense. That's all set. Next thing that goes in the back is my headlamp. I can get to that pretty easy. And that pretty much takes care of everything that's going to go on the back of my pack. Then on the right side, I take my Mora knife. I clip it on the pack strap. In this goes my little 1 ounce thing of deep bug spray and my spare batteries. Push those down in there. And then on top of that is where my Gorilla Pod goes. Makes it really easy to get to. Zip that up. On the other side, I take my bandana. There's a little bit of a pass through here on the hip belt pocket of the own. Makes it easy to get to. I put that in there. This is where my bug net will go. I'm bringing a little thing of Altoids. I'm going to try those this trip. And my Blistex. So let me go through here and cross off the items that I put in. Okay. And what that leaves me with is my water bottle holders. I've had a few questions on these, so I thought that I'd do a close-up of the water bottle holders. Essentially what it is it's a mitten hook that I got from Wilderness Logics, from Marty at Wilderness Logics. And then I just rigged a little piece of Zinget. So that's maybe what? I'd say 5 inches long. It's just long enough to fish around the bottle top of a Gatorade bottle and then hang it. So here's a close-up of those. And there's 2 of those. I've still got to buy my Gatorade bottles for this trip. So I'll just leave those on the table until I purchase those and then wrap them up and set them up. Okay guys, last but not least, spin my neck around here for a second. Look at my sternum strap. This is where I've been hanging my clock, as well as on the other side I've been hanging my thermometer. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of them there and swinging around, but I have yet to find a place that's as convenient and easy to read and look at. So for now, that's where they're going to be. So I'll check those off. All that's left is once I put my camera back on my camera bag, to lock that up and just screw my SticPic on. And that's what I'm bringing on this trip. So the whole load for this trip comes in with food and water and everything right at 18.9 pounds. 3 days worth of food, 2.5 days worth of food, everything but a dinner on the last day, and the gear that I brought. Looking forward to it. Hopefully this video was a little bit helpful for some, maybe to get an idea of how somebody packs a bag and the order that they do it. I've been on about 3 trips so far this year where I don't use stuff sacks. It fills my bag up nice. My food sitting on the top is usually the heaviest, and it kind of compresses down, and my pack basically stays the same shape. It was this size for a 4.5 day trip. It's this size for a 2.5 day trip. Okay folks, thanks so much. I'll see you on the trail. Have fun.